These beats are the purest. Roll it, roll it. These beats are the purest. Roll it, roll it. These beats are the purest. Roll it, roll it.
Hello everybody and welcome on in to the first ever Aurora Overwatch Clash Bowl game. It is the Axolot-O's Musky Bowl, of course brought to you by Axolot-O's. They are delicious, somewhat nutritious, and totally suspicious. We thank you all for tuning in here, of course. I'll be your playbackcaster Booney, and joining me is going to be Paninii. But Paninii, before we start off here on this match, I do want to say something real quick. Everybody already contributing to the cosplay stream 2 Electric Boogaloo challenge. Thank you very much. But we do want to point out we have new emotes in the chat, all of them drawn by the amazingly talented Kerbology. So if you haven't already, use your Twitch Prime subscriptions to get access to all those great emotes you can use in our chats and elsewhere. So shout out to them for their excellent work, and we look forward to using those emotes in our future. So now back to the match. We got ourselves quite the matchup here. The Monsters, our number one seed of the season, and then this kind of Cinderella story of the Rocks here. Paninii, what are you expecting going here? Because now Ramatra is enabled, everything's on the table.
I think this is going to be a banger, honestly. I think it's going to be a 5-match banger. Pet Rocks with PJ, with Cold Beer. I'm expecting some star power out of them. Poi, MVP candidate. I think he might be one of the top finishers in the MVP vote. I think he's going to be really good. I think that these are both very good teams. Nothing would surprise me here, but I do think this is going to be a really good match. I'm hoping it goes to map 5 just to see a banger of a match here.
I mean, we went to map 5 every single match of the semifinal or the quarterfinals, so, it only makes sense that we get further and further into the bowl season that we are going to be getting those banger matches. And, I mean, they're fighting for the first trophy here that isn't the Corey Wells trophy here, but is still Corey. It's the Crystal Corey, of course. You can look at the beautiful mug there on the screen right now. Of course, the crystal ball with his amazing face in it, the Wendigos captain himself, the legend of the sport. But our first map is going to be New Queen Street. Do you think we'll be seeing anything interesting here on New Queen Street with Ramatra being enabled, or are you gonna stick with that kind of that hog soldier with the Mercy Pocket kind of look from both these squads?
I don't think we're gonna see Ramatra. I know he's been played a lot more recently after he got buffed, but I still think that we're gonna, especially out of the Rocks, I think they're gonna stay on that hog. Poi, I could see going to a couple of different heroes here, but I think that they're probably gonna go with the more meta pick as opposed to the Ramatra. He's not been out long enough for them to actually get a ton of scrim time on him. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran Ramatra, but I'm not expecting it on this map here.
Yep, and we are going to be heading in here. Both teams have given us the R, so here we go. Bowl season is officially in session. And starting off a New Queen Street, a map that I think a lot of people have very different opinions on. Some people say it's a good push map, some people say it's the worst map in the game. So perhaps, maybe some teams leaning into that fact of maybe not the best map we want to scrim. But,
Booney, I was going to ask you, we didn't do our picks yet. Who do you pick to win this? And
okay.
The score?
That's a good question. I think it's, again, going to be a banger, but I'm going to go 3-2 to the Rocks. I just like the hog comp. They're playing Cold Beer, popping off, Rookie of the Year candidate. And, I mean, it's just, I think that they've been looking really hot as of late. They're not the best team, of course, of the season. That is the Monsters, but they're getting hot at just the right time for me.
I think we've been on a streak right now in the league. There's been 2 reverse sweeps in a row. I think Pet Rocks are also going to win, but it's going to be a 3-2 reverse sweep.
And the Rocks being one of those reverse sweeps, so you know what?
Yep.
It only works.
And the other one we're not going to talk about. We don't talk about that other reverse sweep.
No, if we want to say anything bad, the Noose lost first round. How about that? Yeah, the Hogs are still obviously in it. Nothing bad happened to them. Copium. But going out here, both teams looking to be pretty similar competitions, both on that hog, but the Reaper swapping in for the Hanzo here. So the more long-range damage here for the Rocks that are going to be spamming out here on New Queen Street, looking to go in here.
At least I think it's going to be a big play. They're going to play a lot faster.
The big hook from Thick Boy. Sky's already out of the fight. Get that Reaper gone. There's not really any pressure on Thick Boy now, so Thick Boy does get hooked in. Forced to use that breather a little earlier than expected here. But another hook from Thick Boys. 2 picks here early here for the Rocks. They're going to take this first point basically for free, as Thick Boy has just gone crazy on the hog so far. As expected, of course.
Yeah, Thick Boy is, I think, one of the better hogs of the league. He's really showing that here. Boy not really known for his hog. He seems, oh, never mind. Boy gets an exit pick. They're kind of just disengaging here, but Pet Rocks are going to get some push here.
Yeah, but you lose on a Poi, and Colbeer gets another pick, so Soldier trade out, and the Resurrection comes through again on the Pro Jesus. So this Mercy look from the Rocks that they pulled up for the reverse sweep again, staying strong here. They don't have a Benzine in here, but they do have Nagaina. But same concept, just pocket Colbeer. I mean, just let the guy pop up. He's got overclock already.
Yeah, and I really like the comps that they're running. So the Lucio I think is a good pick in general, but I feel like with the heavy snipers that the Pet Rocks like to run, it's going to be a lot better with the Mercy.
Oh, Hog already out from Thick Boy, pushes Boy out of the Spider Ray. They can't really engage on the point. But, I mean, Poi kind of disengages right now, not going too aggressive here. The hook doesn't find anything from Thick Boy, but the hook does find something from Poi, but Thick Boy gets the kill anyway. Both Hogs will trade out. The rest from Naga goes in the middle of the enemy team, but a huge group from Nuttier, but here comes the overclock from Colbert. And Thorges and Colbert find 2 here. It's going to be a point A capture for the Pet Rocks. And this DPS duel, which has been on fire in the playoffs, continues that hot streak.
I think we kind of knew that was going to be the case going into this. The DPS of the Pet Rocks are really good. Colbert especially on like almost any sniper character can hard carry any fight. They're really showing that right here. I think that they might have the re-engage here for the MCMM with the Kitsune Rush.
Oh, the boop and the hook there. It's able to keep Strudel in the fight, but it does not matter as Colbert has already found Sonic Ronic. The Dragon is used, but gets really nothing for it. But gets the headshot kill to Strudel. Who's not in the Kiriko early, could spell devastation. Point is flanking, but finds nothing but air with the hook. Anteed up and shot down by Colbert. A huge play from Pepe. And I mean, you're seeing this kind of unorthodox support line here for the Rock, but it's working so far to perfection.
I think it's really interesting because they're basically running like an old school dive with like the long hit scans with the Mercy and the Ana, but they're running it with a Hog, and Thick Boy is actually getting a ton of value here, and they just have the amount of poke to be able to like poke them out early with the snipers.
I mean, also what Thick Boy's doing here is like hooking Poi in early in fights and forcing out all the cooldowns, the emo, the vape, everything, the nade. It's just, and then the Rocks just re-engage. So a great team play so far from them as Poi gets hooked in again. But the sleep on a Thick Boy, the antis are exchanged, both Hogs are antied up, but Colbert's on the flank with an overclock. Finds his opposite number, and here comes a Nano Hole Hog on the Thick Boy, flying very low, but they do get the kill Strudel off the map, sends them packing, but in Skycer as well.
There's no
and the Rocks don't look to be slowing down at all. This might be a full cabin record time.
This might be the fastest full cap I've ever seen. Every fight was just so clean for the Pet Rocks. Thick Boy getting a lot of really early picks. Hopefully they're able to fight back for the MCMM, but it's going to be tough.
I mean, Nutter used that beat, but only got 3 members. But they find Thick Boy, though. So it's not over just yet, but the Valkyrie now goes in for the Resurrection. It's going to get off on the Thick Boy. Still 5v5, and the Hunk gets the Resurrection hook onto Sonic Ronic, and the Dragon is there to separate the team members of the MCMM. There comes the Dragon out from Skycer. Does isolate Thick Boy, but also Nuttier as well in a small corner. Sadly, DJ has nothing to do against this giant Whole Hog, but Poi has a Nano Whole Hog, trying to keep him up. Poi for just a second longer. He's just staying alive for now, but still 5-on-3 here on the point. Poi push that cart just a little bit forward here, but Thick Boy's looking for a hook. Does he have to use the force that bait early here? Sonic Ronic can't quite find the charge shot there, and Poi's gonna find Proteus with that first pick. Thick Boy is aimed up, uses that Whole Hog, and goes down immediately to Sonic Ronic. So finally, the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters has stabilized here on the defense. Poi continues to go forward. Can't quite get the hook kill, but it's obviously a tactical stagger as both supports go down.
This overclock's going to have to be big for Sonic Ronic. They don't have very many ultimates for either side, but that's got to be the difference maker this fight if they want to stay alive this map. They are having some good ults. Yeah, they are having some big ults coming up for the Pet Rocks too. The Nano, the Overclock, and the Dragons. So Sonic Ronic, whenever he comes back to the fight, this has to be a big one to be able to like continue their momentum.
So it is a 1-for-1 here on the Sojourns. Both teams exchanging, but Skycer doesn't get taken down. A bit isolated here, but a long-range hook from Poi finds Hefe. Takes the Ana out of the fight. They have press start to Coldbeard here. So the main source of damage has returned here for the Pet Rock, but Sonic Ronic is coming in back in with the Overclock. Could be a game changer, but a nice hook from Poi. They're going 1-for-1 here, but I'll take the Hog for the Hanzo any day. As Thick Boy continues to push the part forward back. Sonic is back, but they're just retreating right now, trying to keep all people alive for his Fox fight.
Oh, the Arista swap, I really like that to try to shut down Thick Boy. They were just kind of getting dipped on the Hog battle, so Arista's gonna be a really good pick to try to counter this Hog from Thick Boy. They are resetting the ult charge for the tank, which is not great, but the fact that you're on a much better hero against the Hog, I think that's a good switch to make. This is going to be a really high ultimate fight. I think they're probably going to build most of their ultimates in the middle of this fight here.
Drill did a bit of a flanking maneuver, probably try to sleep that Hog, give it an infinite on him, but Colbert has absolutely zero fear. Here comes a Nano Overclock, finds one. Can he find another one? Yes, finds two. Colbert going absolutely crazy in the back and finds Sonic Rock, isolates him, finds the Soldier, but it's just a quick slide away. Sonic Rock able to stay alive, but I mean, Colbert is just so scary with a 3K here. With the Nano Overclock, the Dragon is invested as well. And the Nano, boy, just goes down immediately. That's not good.
That was an unfortunate Nano. They do have some ults coming in. The Kitsune Rush especially is going to have to be really big here. They did get a lot of ults out of the Pet Rocks, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to be able to continue this. They have 3 ults coming out. I think they're pretty good ults to have here, but we'll see if they're able to get value out of this.
Gonna swap back to the Hog. The Rista just one fight. Doesn't matter. Sonic Rock goes down the middle of his Overclock. Just barely pops it, then the shot from Purple Jesus from across the house. Skycer goes down. The Resurrect has been invested, however, so Sonic Rock is back in his fight. Is now 4-on-5 here. Poise, 8 up. Doesn't quite hit the hook and goes down. Colbert with a shot. Look at all this assist from Colbert.
Yeah.
And here comes No Hog from Thick Boy. It's a desperation dragon from the swap. The dragon gets canceled. This Kaiser shot the Tracer. This Kaiser goes back over, but Purple Jesus finds the shots, finds the kills. And the pet rocks. Your reverse prediction already out the window. And with a dominant win on New Queen Street.
That was incredibly dominant. The fact that we both picked 3-2 so far has looked like maybe a little bit too generous. The Pet Rocks looked incredibly clean that fight. They looked like they had control almost the entire time. The fact that they almost capped with, like, what was that, 6 minutes left is incredible. We'll see if they have any counters here, especially, like, on New Queen Street. I think that's a pretty good map to pick against the Pet Rocks in terms of push maps, because you don't have these long ranges like Colosseo. But they still, like, kind of got rolled, to be honest, on that map, even though I think that was their best map to play, so that might be rough for them to come back from. I was talking to Nutty here before the map, and I was like, what do you think the score is going to be? And he's like, well, we've had a lot of 3-0s this year, and that's already out the window for the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters.
I mean, this entire playoffs has been kind of a sweat for the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters. They're not the dominant force they were in the regular season, especially with these changes coming in here. The Wendigos taking them onto map 5, but we are going into the next map. It's going to be KR already being selected, so no breaks for us here. We're just going to go straight back into the action here if we get the R from the other side, but time for the J receive. I think
there's another really good pick. I have a feeling that Poi might try to whip out the Zarya and see if he can just get value, because his Hog looked like it was kind of getting diffed by the Thick Boy's Hog, which was expected going into this. Thick Boy has one of the best Hogs in the league. Do not take that out of context, please. Poi, I think if he's not able to match the Hog, it might not be a bad pick to try to swap to a different hero and try to either counter it or try to get value outside of just the Hog matchup. If Poi can like swap to maybe the Zarya and try to maybe enable a DPS against the DPS battle, because Coldbeer was also popping off that entire map. That might be a good switch to make, especially if you're not getting enough value out of the Hog. We'll see if they even roll out on that. I also think the Orisa in general is really good against the Hog, but I'm not sure if Poi is very comfortable on the Orisa either. But we'll see. This is a much different map from the last map. I think this is also a lot different than what I would the Rocks would probably want to be on. They want to have probably the long sight lines for their DPS to be able to get a lot of value on. And Kings Row doesn't have great sight lines, so I think this is a good pick from the Monsters. We'll see if they have any tricks up their sleeve to be able to try to switch the momentum back on the Rocks, but we'll see.
I mean, it's a much different map, but also a much different look for both these sides as Skycer gets subbed in for, or Seven gets subbed in for Skycer, and Yeetmeister comes in for Thick Boy. So no Hog really expected, I think, from the Rocks right now. We could be seeing a Reinhardt from Yeetmeister.
Maybe a Reinhardt, yeah.
But I mean, all that matters is that Colby is still in the game and just still has that mercy pocket. That's all true. You really need. Your tank can be Yeetmeister, honestly, and just charge in the enemy line and die. But as long as you're making space for Coldbeer, I guess worth it. But Seven, you know, I'm gonna say it. Seven was accused of smurfing earlier this year because of how good he was on that Genji. So we haven't seen this guy's Genji.
His Genji's kind of his big, his like most notable pick that everyone knows about. We'll see if he rolls out on the Genji. I wouldn't be shocked if he has. And there's that Zarya that we also expected coming from Poi. I do really like the map Lucio. If they play really fast, if they play really brawly, they might be able to get some value. Yeetmeister, I know it's early. Yeetmeister showing the Junker Queen. I wonder if he's actually going to stay on that. I don't think so, though.
I would like that selection if he stuck with it, honestly.
That would be really interesting to see.
Because we haven't seen much Junker Queen. In fact, I don't even see if I've ever casted a Junker Queen in this league so far, because she was kind of doo-doo, but now she's not as doo-doo because of the changes to Carnage. I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing the I guess you can't abuse the bug anymore. It was taken out, but yeah, you must go back over that Reinhardt as expected. Jesus will probably swap to a Cassidy or something to help this brawl out, going for a quick headshot out of spawn. I'm gonna stop talking until they rock out of spawn here.
That's not a Reinhardt.
That's an Orisa. So Yeetmeister's gonna be playing the Orisa here, boy, on the Zarya. So an interesting tank lineup here. Both squads on different looks here as we walk into King's Row.
Jay Silly alert.
The J Sirius has been activated. With Pro Jesus, it's J Sirius. There is no shenanigans going on right now. As the point art has been captured here pretty quickly for the Pet Rocks, taking the space, not allowing Poi to come back in. But Poi charged up here, going to walk forward here onto Yeetmeister, melt down that Orisa, falling very low, but it gets killed by Hefe on the Kiriko. There's not too much going on as right now. It's kind of a poke fight right now. Seven caught off a little out here on the phone booth, but does get back to his squad. Never mind. Sonic Chronic has found the head to the opposite end of a laser here from Coldbeer as they lose out on Sonic early here. However, Boy going very aggressive here. We'll find Nagi-ina, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Nuttier, though, is completely out of nowhere, but gets a kill and gets out with the team. Somehow still alive. He's touching the red bus behind the enemy squad, but they don't notice him there. And now Boy is just walking forward here, trying to take out any bit of damage he can. He has a Gretchen Surge ready to use.
Boy's playing this exactly like how I want him to play. You want to play back, get your charge up. By the time Orisa uses all their ultimates, just hard engage onto them. That's exactly what they did. He got picks out of that. He needs to be able to just stay with this flow of this fight here.
Oh, there's 2 picks early here. The DPS coming alive yet again. Something's gonna get that first pick. Does get that charge in here on the dash, but Colbeer still has that pocket, has the melee, has the punches. It's only just the Baptiste and the Zarya here. They have no immortality field, but it's Colbeer with a mercy. Ploy! Through the window gets 4 Ploy!
Yeah,
check.
Boy is playing really well here. The Zarya, I think, is a really good swap, especially off of the Hog. He's basically just playing really slow, waiting for cooldowns to come out, and just playing really well. The grab with, I think the window might have been a little bit of an overinvestment, but it's a window, so he'll get it back pretty fast. With the overclock from Colbeer, I think that's going to be a big difference maker this fight. We'll see if he's able to capitalize on that.
The overclock and the tire 7 is caught out here a little bit on his own with the DPS. However, does retreat a little bit, gets that jump up there, probably trying to build towards this blade. 9% income, but here comes a J-Serious tire, looking for potentially a kill as Nuttier has found the Junkrat. Somehow Nuttier gets a kill, but the tire's there anyways. It's over 1, and Colbeer has the overclock. Nagi does use that Valkyrie, but here comes 7 with the blade. The Souza does get thrown down by Hefe, but not good enough as Hefe finds it, and the Sonic Onyx Peacemaker. And it does look the DPS have clutches out here for the side of the mostly Marshmallow monsters. Yeetmeister is just standing there alone with Nagi on the Mercy, trying to get back to the squad, and Purple Juice has swapped off the J-Serious on the hunt. It was business.
That's actually really big. You got all those ults out of Pet Rocks. You got the Overclock, you got the Dragons, you got the Valkyrie. So they're going to be able to like hold the ultimate advantage here. Grab's coming up soon. Beat's coming up soon. The Orisa Terra Surge can be big, but I don't know if they really have enough stuff to combo with that, so I don't know if it's going to be able to get as much value as they want to.
Sonic falls very low, but does get healed right back up by Strudel here. Look to engage. Nuttier does have this beat. They got to go quickly here, so running out of time. Here comes a big slam here. The big Terra Surge. Sonic Ronic with the high noon, but gets speared out of it here, but they do lose out of Purple Jesus. Colbeer flying extremely low as well. It looks like it's going to be a 1 fight here for the Military Marshmallow monsters, but you do get out beat as well as high noon, so not the end of the world, but your time is running out.
They played that beautiful there. They still have the grab and the window again. Yeetmeister's going over to the Hog, which I think might be a good, especially if he can get an early pick on the Hog. I think that might be a good swap. We have the Kitsune Rush coming up too. I think that's kind of, at this point, it's currently a game-winning ult, so we'll see if that's able to get enough value, maybe force out some ults, and even they might still win the fight with the Kitsune Rush, even if the grab and the window comes out.
Hook not gonna find anything from Yeetmeister, but the slow orb is there. It does force him to play a little bit slow here. They find Yeetmeister and put a lot of damage into it, but it just feeds the Kitsune Rush here from Hefe as the boss walks in here. The window is invested here from Strudel as well as the guard Tom Surge. The Immortality Field plays as well. He's not, as Yeetmeister gets the hook on a point, but it's not being done enough. As 2 picks have come in here, 3 picks. Sonic Ronic line him up through this window, finds the picks they need, and the Military Marshmallow monsters holding the 86.9% on A. And our prediction of 3-2 is looking a lot better now.
Yep. That's a really good swap onto the Zarya from Boy. Sometimes even if the meta is like kind of leaning more Hog, more Orisa or anything like that, sometimes playing your cover pick, especially if you're really good at that, is a really good move. He really showed that off. His Zarya probably was the best pick of that entire map. Being able to get grab, being able to win fights like solely off the grab, even if they had to use other ults to just secure the fight. They were able to play slow, force out abilities, force out ultimates, and then be able to re-engage really hard with their, especially with their Lucio. A lot of really good picks there, so I hope to see it continue.
Well, I mean, I will say one comment on your last one. You play your cover picks, it works. But I will say, unless that character is Reinhardt, which the Overwatch developers have forgot is a character in the game, do not play Reinhardt in any circumstance. If you're good at him, you will probably lose unless you use LH Cloudy, which if you are, then you sign up for Aurora. But
I know you were saying you really wanted to cast a Junker Queen. Even though we haven't seen very much Reinhardt, I really do not want to see Reinhardt. That would just be very sad to see. They just
I don't want to either. But if there's one madman to do it, it'll be Yeetmeister. But you know, something tells me this might be Yeetmeister's last map of this series. I'm not sure, but
usually they like to play Yeetmeister on these hybrid maps. He usually likes to play one map and then let Thick Boy take over. So we'll see if when Thick Boy comes back in, if he's able to return the blow off of MCMM, or if he's able to MCMM is able to hold their momentum coming out of this map.
Well, it's not done just yet. Let's hold our horses just a little bit here. The Hog has come out, and Hog is known to work some miracles, so we'll wait and see. The hook not going to find anything but the air, as Nuttier does fall pretty low here from a charge shot from Coldbeer, but the DPS going at a bit of a flank angle here. Both angles are covered here. So now the Paris Pet Rocks forces really awkward position, but the hook does find Paydirt, but nothing comes of it as Sonic Ronk somehow stays alive through all that. I think above from Play was there to keep him up in that situation. I mean, Seven is doing a bit of a flanking maneuver, but Yeetmice just holding his ground in the front line here. Not going too much here. Big dash, though, from Seven. As Boys are to clean up the dance with that high charge they use. And, yep, that's going to be our map right there, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading to a map 3 tied series.
Well, they might have another touch, but I don't think so here. That flank coming out from 7-7 was so juicy. He just walked up on high ground. I don't know if they saw him or not, but he was able to dash in, get a lot of value. And, yeah, that's King's Row.
Well, there you go. You know, Yeetmeister, maybe not known really for the hog gameplay. Sadly, if it was a Reinhardt meta or something, probably getting a little more value. But when you're up against Poi Zarya, your MVP candidate, Roll Star selection most likely, you're probably not going to do your best.
You know what we're going to see here now, right? We're going to see, no, not in general, but like next map, we're going to see probably Bomba Plot on Havana.
You know what?
They're going to pick a sniper map. Yeah.
I do have some insider sources. The Paris Pet Rocks like to throw their hybrid maps, so they get Havana specifically for Coldbeer and Purple Jesus.
And I mean, it's worked for them. The last couple of maps, I think they've lost their hybrid map, and then they've won their escort map. So we'll see. Yeah, Coldbeer, probably one of the best snipers in the league, playing on a sniper-heavy escort map. I think is a really good move. Let's see, any other Havana Thick Boy for me, is what he's saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is they're going to put Thick Boy back in, they're going to go to Havana. This one is not... I'm not going to say this is the worst Zarya map in the game, but it's definitely not a great Zarya map. I don't know if Poi will continue to play the Zarya.
I mean...
Maybe...
If there's one person in the league who'd force it, it'd probably be Poi, but at the same time, you're going against the Thick Boy Hogs. So, you might not want to play that.
If Poi isn't comfortable on the Hog, I want to see him play a fun character. So, like, Ramattra would be fun, Sigma would be fun, Orisa would be fun. Because those are all pretty good heroes on this map. Even if they're not, like, the meta pick right now, I think that might work better for them than trying to win the Hog 1v1 against Thick Boy.
I would say Poi's probably best character in Overwatch 1 was the Sigma, so, you know, maybe...
Sigma would be good.
Maybe it could make that work. I don't know. Poi also likes to play the Diva, the bunny girl. I don't know. Maybe you're trying to shut down Coldbeer and Purple Jesus with that D-Matrix, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what they do.
Sigma's going to be really good on this map, especially if he wants to run it, because if you're going to run double sniper out of Purple Jesus and Coldbeer, you're going to be able to, like, shut off some sight lines with the Sigma. But if you do use your shield to shut down the snipers, you are really vulnerable to the Hog. So it's kind of a lose-lose from them, because I think that Rocks are going to have a lot of different attack angles on this map. We'll see if they're able to pull it off. Hopefully they're not boomed from last map. They should be able to hold it together, though.
I think this team has come to expect we lose hybrid, but we go Havana, so I don't think they care. They're up 1-0 in their minds. The next hybrid maps don't count. You know, there's stop the count, if you would say. But
wait, so if I've done my math right, is map 5 going to be a push map, or is it going to be a Koth map? Push map. Okay. We gotta save the Koth masterpieces for the grand final. So I gotta do push the week before, you know, to shake it up a little bit. But I'm not gonna force 2 push maps from the grand finals. What am I, a psychopath? Anyway, Sigma. Yeah, let's go Sigma duel.
I'm guessing Thick Boy won't be sticking this. If I had to take a guess, he's still in spawn.
Yeah, he's still in spawn. No, Poi. Please don't tell me he's gonna run Ryan here. There's no way.
Are they going for just a quick spawn hole, perhaps?
Oh, they're gonna go for the spawn hole. Yeah. This map hasn't been in the map pool, so I forgot this is a strat that people run all the time. Usually, I think the spawn hole's a lot better with a Mei.
Remember,
just because you can get separation easier and get picks. But 7-7 is pretty good on the Genji, so that might be a good pick instead.
The classic spawn hold Genji selection. You know, it's perhaps they're expecting this because they're going to the other door. They're playing about as far away from this charge as possible. From this Rock comes in Thick Boy, looking to get that Rock onto Poi. Not quick enough. I do not like Thick Boy and Poi in my same games, but here comes a charge from Poi. Gonna find nothing but the corner, but Seven gets that little bit of dash on a head face. So a good start here for the spawn hold as they do get a one pick. Force the Rocks back in, but they get the pick on Strudel. And just one pick is probably good enough to split this out, especially since it's the Baptiste.
Thick Boy's back on top, which is another really good pick here. You can get some targets isolated and especially...
Flank cafe. Huge nano! Or huge anti, my bad. Hits 2. Yep, Boy does get taken down to half HP, but still alive somehow. Not for much longer, casting Curse Strikes again. As now it's just 3 on 5 here in the spawn, but you do get about a minute off, so not the worst thing in the world. No, 7's taking a nap.
This is still, like, even though they lose this fight, that's still a really good point. That's a minute off the clock. You never expect to win to, like, full hold the entire time, but taking a minute off is actually pretty good.
And Poise back on the Sigma like you wanted.
Back on the Sigma, yep. So Sigma versus Hog, which is exactly what I expected.
Oh, almost caught Sonic Ronic napping there, staying still. Almost got the hook from Thick Boy, but now Boy had to use that Eat ability. Can't really has that here for this next upcoming fight. Thick Boy's waiting for this hook ability here. Not gonna find anything. Rock's gonna find Naga from way downtown, and they're gonna get the pick on Approach G's because of it. So a nice here, the deflect there on the Storm Arrows, and 7 is still flanking up on this high ground here. Colbert uses that sights. The Emperor Sight will know where 7 is, but just dash in the Hefe after get rocked. And it's, I mean, Boy just holding his ground right now with 7. The hook is there. Boy has Gravitic Flex, but gets slept. Even Topfield is forced out here, and here comes a Casino Rush. Boy, using, but gets hooked out of it, as well as the Dragon fighting Nut here. So a lot of ulti trade here, however, 2 kills in favor right now of the Milsey Marshmallow Monsters not over just as Strudel is going ballistic here on the high ground with Sonic Ronic. It's just Thick Boy and Hefe right now, trying to get anything done. Strudel is still on the high ground, just shooting at Hefe by Hefe. Hiding behind the barrels on point. Strudel uses the window, but Hefe just uses the rim of the tires to stay safe. And now Thick Boy's forced to Thick Boy, what the immortality field's huge. Here comes the whole hog, but Boy's there to eat it all up. 7 is in on the point, but Hefe is still alive. Hefe's got the moves. Hefe took his ankles, but Thick Boy has got left taken by Strudel. And somehow Strudel,
I don't know how he didn't die there. He was purple.
I don't know.
He was purple. He was hooked. So that was a really good hold. That was like one huge fight. It lasted forever. Blade's coming up. That's gonna be really huge. Thick Boy got. I really thought Thick Boy was gonna win the fight with the whole hog. I guess he didn't. Coldbeer, if Coldbeer wants to carry this fight, he's got to look for more flanks. He's playing a lot main. He's playing a lot low ground. He needs to look for some flanks to be able to get some picks on this Widow.
7 spots out that Widowmaker and force him off that high ground here, but Hefe has a bit of a long sight line here. The hook not gonna find anything from Thick Boy as 7 dodges right around the corner, and 7 finds Coldbeer right away in the pick. So that Widowmaker out of the fight does a lot of long range damage. Gone as 7 has found both DPS here. The Genji on Havana is working, surprisingly, against 2 double snipers. And, I mean, the hooks from Thick Boy are not landing nearly as well as they were on New Queen Street, as Boy yet again with 7, the 3K from the Genji God himself with the Overwatch League, and Coldbeer soft the Soldier.
And Mill City has all the ults they need to be able to full hold this map, which is actually huge. Coldbeer off the Widow, which I think might actually be a good pick. It wasn't working very well early this fight. They gotta play really fast. They gotta use this nano. I think they're probably gonna nano Thick Boy here and see if he can hard carry, but with the Trance, with the Blade, with the Flux, it's gonna be really tough for them to come back on this map.
It's gonna be tough here. We need a pick from other DPS if the Rocks are going to take this, but a big Dragon Flux combo finds too early here. Here comes the Blade in the backline from 7. Coldbeer gets nano, but gets rocked immediately for his troubles. And 7 forces the space with the Blade, and Poi and Sonic Rana combine to win that last fight of Havana. And the Rocks' go-to map choice looks really in trouble here.
I think genuinely not the game winning, the fight winning play on that really long, like 2-minute fight was Strudel being able to get out. I think if he dies there, they cap first, and they're able to get some more momentum going in a second. But Strudel being able to get out, that re-engage on that really long fight, that might have actually turned this entire map on its head. I thought they were going to be able to push really hard, especially if they were able to get to 3rd point, getting your really good sniper players on the high ground on 3rd point. They could have easily full capped here if they were able to break for the first, and they just got held up. So that was a really good play from Mill City to be able to hold them. The close hold, I think taking a minute off was another really good play, really good call from their team.
And speaking of great calls, Mill City had almost the perfect counter comp here to stop the, what the Rocks like to run. So I like the way they played it. They played to perfection almost. I mean, I can say perfection, but also include the hero play of Strudel somehow surviving that.
Yeah.
But I think they played it very well regardless of that play. I think they had the great idea of where to put their supports as well as their DPS to put pressure on Coldbeer but stay out of the sight line. I think that was a great play from them. And, you know, all comes back to probably the Poi, the big brain guy himself in the front line on that Sigma, taking that space along with 7.
Pet Rock's win condition here is they need to be able to go after the supports. I think the best way to do that is to be able to send your 2 DPS players on like separate, to control separate sight lines, to be able to take off angles and be able to pick these supports off. They didn't really do that very much on the attack, so I'm hoping they set up more like flanks, more off angles on this defense here to be able to punish their supports on Mill City a lot more. I think that'll really get them some value if they try to go for some more different angles.
Sonic Rock has already found the first blood there here on the Purple G's. Both Hanzos striking as Purple G's is down. So last base already given up here by the Pet Rocks. They gotta retreat here. 7 got control of that high ground here. But Colbier looking to reclaim it here with that damage boost. But 7 is there to fight him off. 7 going very aggressive here against Colbier with the Merce Pocket. And that's about as well as I expected to go. Thick Boy is holding down this cart by himself right now. As Strudel has been isolated here. Proteus has swapped to the Genji here, so basically a counter comp, or the same comp for the DPS line on both sides. Never mind. I know what I'm saying. They have a Hanzo instead of a Code Soldier. Disregard me. I'm not a Code Soldier.
I'm not 100% sure why they're running the Genji on the Pet Rock side, because I don't know what value you expect to get. He's not going to just dive in by himself and get value. He's the only, like, mobile character, but he can't really engage because no one else on his team is going to engage with him.
Well, that's the same question as 7, because there's nobody to dive with 7 either, but 7 is doing well enough on his own to get these picks, get these kills, get this pressure on. But Colbier with a very high charge, wastes out that deflect on 7. Strudel jumps up there to try to help that Genji out. Looks like it's going to happen. Pro Jesus is there to help out the DPS partner. As I mean, the Sigmas are just, you know, I don't want to say throwing balls at each other on point, but Colbier's opening up the fight with the first pick, has an overclock as well. With Strudel out of the way, the Immortality down as well. 7 trying to start down, but Sonic Chronic has got down. Purple Jesus needs no dive partner. Finds the Hanzo, finds him early, and now it's just Boy alone on the cart, trying to fight off the enemy, but you win it for basically Colbier's ultimate, and that's a pretty good sign here for the Pet Rocks defense with 2 minutes remaining.
I think the Sojourn's a really good pick here, though. The Widow, I think the Widow relies a lot on really, like, pop-off potential, and against the Sigma, it's really hard to be able to find those angles on the Widow. I think the Sojourn's are really good because it's a lot more team-oriented of a pick, even for hit scan players. He can still get those like picks with the right click, but he's able to get a little bit more value in the more consistent, more poke playstyle that he's using right now.
Anthony goes in, finds nothing for the side of the Pet Rocks. Hefe playing very far back right now, very hard for 7 to get onto the Zana. And right now, Thick Boy just pelting down those 3 squishies there in that small room. And 7 goes down early again. Colbier with that shot with the charge railgun, finds out that Genji. Boy does block off that rock, but Nuttier able to stay alive somehow through that difficulties, but Colbier has found another pick here. Here comes Volkovic fluxes are being exchanged here, but Poise is larger, but Strudel found 2 picks for the window. Poise somehow they clutch us out. They've got 3 kills right now. It's just Thick Boy on the cart by himself. Thick Boy is going to go down. I don't know how they have another Strudel clutch.
Strudel, I really popped off. Poi too. Poi had a lot of value there. I think that's going to be curtains for this. We'll see if they're able to get back. They're going to have the trance. They're going to have the dragons. They're probably going to get the blade.
Comes the blade from Purple Juice on the point. Just gets the nano, but the trance is already there. But it did lost long enough for the reinforcements to arrive here. For both sides, Poi falls very low and gets nano, but here comes 7 with the Dragon Braid. Will find Naga. Poi finds Colbier, so 2 picks here for the Motion Marshmallow Monsters. As it looks like they claim the map choice of Havana. And Poi and Strudel yet again his final fight, clean the kill feed. Poi, the melee master, with 2 at the end there. And it looks like that's going to be that map.
I really thought the Pet Rocks are going to pull off the fuller hold. Not to be done. They just... That's another real good reason to go for that close hold, because if you go for the close hold like the Marshmallow Monsters did, it takes a lot of time off building the ultimates. I feel like by the time they the Pet Rocks on defense let the Marshmallow Monsters like basically walk in and take that first corner for free. So it's basically they just had to wait and win 1 fight with ultimates. And they won 1 fight off of some hero plays from Strudel and from Poi, and they just had ultimates to be able to win that last fight. I think if they had either played a lot slower or played more aggressive to try to force out ults earlier, I think they might have had a chance to win that. But regardless, that was still a really close match. And it was really good to see the trades going back and forth for blow by blow for each of these teams here.
And it came down to the hero plays on both sides. You know, the fight the Rocks would win would be Colbier finding 2 to start the fight, or be the monster be Strudel with a big immortality field, or the 2 final blows through a window somewhere in the middle of Narnia. So I mean, like you said, it was a great back and forth game, but at the end of the day, the Monsters, with that extra minute of time to push forward, were able to claim that map and claim goes to 2 match point here. They're 1 map away here from claiming the first ever Crystal Corey and moving on to the Booney Bowl and fight for that championship. Do the Rocks still have it in them? I mean, that was your map choice. That was your map. Havana has been your bread and butter the entire season, and now you lost it. Yeah, map pool, it won't come back. So what cost do you even go to here?
So that was probably the best map, probably in the game for Pet Rock's comp. I don't even know if you want to go to like Busan. That's a good map because I was gonna say I don't know if you want to go to a hard like long range map like downtown or even like Sanctum is another really good sniper map. Busan I think is a good sniper map, but then I don't know what they're gonna be able to run on like Mecha Base. Mecha Base is a really like brawl heavy map. It's a really close quarters. They can Poi I think is gonna go Zarya on Mecha Base, and I think they're gonna win Mecha Base. I think the Pet Rocks are going to be able to win downtown. I think Cold Beer is going to come back and get some hero plays on either Widow or on Sojourn on downtown. I think if Pet Rocks are able to stay alive here, they're going to have to win on Sanctuary. I think that's a good map for them. I think they probably win that map, but it's hard to tell, especially because some of these fights, I keep thinking like there's no way the Pet Rocks will lose this fight, and they come back, clutch it out. Same with the Monsters. Some fights, I'm like the Monsters are dead, and then they come back and have some huge hero plays out of Strudel. 7-7 had some great plays there. Poi played really well. We'll see how this one goes, but so no swaps from either team, it looks like.
It'll be up to the rock hard mental here from Paris to see if they can get it done here. No swaps from either side, just looks like, and both teams are going to give us the R. So are we heading into our final map of the first ever Axolot-O's Musky Bowl? Let's hope not. Let's hope our 3-2 prediction stays alive here and we get another map 5 banger. But we are going to start here on downtown. Probably exactly what you want to see if you're a Pet Rocks fan.
Yeah, but I want to see Mecha Base at some point because I love watching Poi on Zarya. I think he's going to run Zarya on Mecha Base. I want to see one map replay Zarya one more time. But yeah, this is a pretty good one for Pet Rocks. I think Sojourn, this is one of the better Sojourn matchups too, so I wonder if they're going to run a Widow and maybe even a Sojourn. The Hanzo, I think, is also a good pick here, especially because there's a lot of really good flank angles. You can go Mega, you can go point, the high ground of point, you can try to set up off angles there. We'll see if they're able to control the space. Poi is also staying on this D.Va to start, so I think that might be an interesting pick, especially if they are, you might be able to catch out Purple Jesus or Cold Beer out, and then if you're a D.Va, you could try to go punish that. We'll see if they're able to pull that off in this fight.
I mean, I'd almost like to see Hefe go to a Kiriko to cleanse Thick Boy here because he did the Ana from Strudel, but Thick Boy might be in trouble because there's no D.Va. I mean, the D.Va's going to shut down Hefe here with the anti-nade eat as well as the pressure on the DPS, so I'd like to see perhaps a swap here at this first fight, but going into it, Cold Beer taking his high ground position, but Poi is there and knock him off there, and there you go. That's the exact way to go with that D.Va character. Shuts down Cold Beer pretty early here as Sonic can take this off angle as well. Puts the pressure in onto the Paris Pet Rock, but they've moved to the point, but however, Naka goes down as Strudel finds that pick support of combat. Nadir falls early here, and Poi has lost out on the mech, so it's not done just as of yet. I think Poi is there on the point. Hefe is still alive somehow. Sonic Rock playing very weak, but does not matter as already killed out Hefe. Strudel has just killed like 3 this fight on the Ana character. Cold Beer returned just in time to see the point flip in the other team's favor, and it's gonna go down.
Early pick onto Cold Beer. I really thought that fight was over. It went a lot longer, and they were trades back and forth, so I thought that Pet Rocks had a chance to clutch out that fight. Sonic Ronic 7-7 and Strudel were able to clutch out that fight too. Cold Beer's onto the McCree now, which I think is... I don't know if that's what I would run here. He, I guess, is a more... So he's probably trying to shut down, like, rule the Sonic Ronic on McCree. But I think it's easier to shut that down as the D.Va than the Sojourn because you have a lot less mobility. And it's also less pick potential. Coming from Cold Beer, you want to see him be able to get all of the picks this fight. So we'll see if it works. It's a good swap, especially if you don't think that Sojourn's working. But I don't know if it's the play against this D.Va here.
Thick Boy goes very aggro on the point. The Sleeper's Crew not gonna find anybody. Anti-nade will finds 2 members. The Nano is invested here as well on the Boy as we clean up the kills. And I'm with it there. I don't understand this Cassie swap at all. I don't get it.
Marshmallow Monster is able to win just off of the Nano, so they still have a lot of ults coming up. The Blade, especially with no really good defensive ult, no like trance or beat or anything. I think this Blade's probably just going to be able to win the fight off a dry Blade, and then they're still going to have 3 ults, even if they somehow lose the fight off of the Blade. We'll see if Thick Boy can maybe whole hog him and shut him down with the Blade.
I mean, especially considering you're still running this Mercy to pocket this Cassidy. I don't know if you're getting as much value as you would perhaps against a Sojourn or an Ash to the same capacity, but the blade comes in from 7. Finds nothing but the pressure being put on here as Poi is there to help out with the final blows as 7 finds 2. They're at the end, both DPS fall to the edge of his Dragon Blade. And it looks like the Military Marshmallow monsters are just going to stick on the supports here, and they're going to win this map of downtown. The Rock's best chance, in our opinions, of taking this map. Coldbeer has the High Noon, gets one on a Nuttier, but they're not going to be able to touch. Not 5%, and Thick Boy's on Zarya, the fastest character in the game. I don't think it's going to happen.
Even touch.
Maybe Purple Juice on Tracer can touch? He can! So here we go, and Thick Boy's also nanoed here, so it could be done here. But Thick Boy's returned and found the kill in a 7, so both DPS can trade out here. Nuttier on the point, as well as the cast on the Wogon, but Nuttier has his beat to keep the Military Marshmallow in this fight. Poi has returned, and there we go. Tefe and Copier both falling. And yeah, this is a desperation. Thick Boy as well as Naga with the Mercy, not going to do anything. And yeah, that's a comp differential, I'm going to be honest with you right there. I mean, the Mercy just wasn't getting much value without the Sojourn as the Lucio was from Nuttier.
I don't like the McCree swap there very much. I think the Zarya swap at the end was actually really interesting because they had the touch from PJ on the Tracer. I think they were just playing to see if they could, Thick Boy could get the grab. He finished with 81%. They nanoed him. He got high charge. He might have been able to clutch that fight out. I don't hate that, but I think it's really funny to try to swap Zarya in, like, basically a stall fight. So we'll see. Orissa's showing. I think Orissa's pretty good on this map. Hog, I don't think is great. Zarya, I think, is definitely the move from Poi here, so I think that's a good move from him. Orissa, I don't know if Orissa plays very well against Zarya. I think it's kind of they're kind of even between the two of them. But yeah, we'll see who gets more picks here. But I think this is definitely Marshmallow Monster's map to lose here. It's one of the best Zarya maps in the game, in my opinion.
The Crystal Quarry might have found its home here, but the Perfect Rock looks to shut this down. Here comes the nade in from Hefe, keeps all the team up nice and healthy, 26% already to that nano. But Coldbeer tries to find their opening pick, but they don't gain too much space right now. As Poi is just claiming this along with 7. They can't really engage right now. They're looking for an opening pick, but it doesn't come in their team. It goes the other way. The Pro Juice has gone down. Poi and 7 claiming the space, claiming the kills. As the Parish Pet Rocks are sent packing again early here. They lose on a Sonic, but the point is being flipped here in favor of the most part monsters.
You have 2 real win conditions here if you're the Pet Rocks. You either need to play really fast and take the fight before the Zarya can go charge, or you need to play spam and you know look for angles to try to wear down the back line of the Marshmallow Monsters. They didn't really do either, and they just kind of fell over in the long fight.
They've killed 2 here already as Poi's gone down, and we already lost on Sonic Ronic. And yet Colbert and Purple G is the DPS duo for the Rocks, who have brought them this far in this playoff situation so far. Look to be clutching up here, and 20% is all that's going to be gained here for the side Military Marshmallow Monsters, and here comes defensive positioning from Coldbeer.
And this is really hard to push into, but you have the grab, so the grab might be enough to win this fight. Again, they don't really have a defensive ult from the Pet Rocks, so I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything against this grab.
Here comes the grab, it's 2 members in it, they lose on Purchase already. The overclock from Coldbeer perhaps to shut it down, and the Thick Boy gets nailed as well, but 7's already killed 2, both defenses go down. 7 gets a third. 7 is just dashing and killing all of the Pet Rocks by his lonesome right there. But poison up with that grab. Coldbeer has been returned to the fight here. Naga has his Valkyrie. Thick Boy is still in this fight right now, but is all alone right now as Coldbeer finds the flash grenade from Sonic Ronic. And this DPS duo, I said DPS duo for the Pet Rocks are carrying them so far, but the Milsim Marshmallow Monsters just be outdone. Find 4 kills in that fight. 7 on the Genji.
He's looked really good today. Coming into this, like, yeah, you talk about Coldbeer, you talk about PJ. 7-7 on the Genji. Like you said, he's smurfing right now. He's been playing really well. This Blade coming up is probably going to win the fight, too.
Mistrude used that window, but they just pushed him away from it, so a good shutdown there from Thick Boy with that Javelin spin. I will see if anything happens. The Purple just falls very low, they've already lost 2, and now it's just a health advantage here from that beat from Nuttier. The Immortality feels forced up pretty late here, but nothing really comes of it as Poi and Sonic Grunt clean up the kill feed. And 50% and counting. You did use both the support ults there, but not the end of the world.
Yeah, Pet Rocks don't have any support or any ults really either. They have the Terror Surge, but that's not a high value ultimate. So I think taking some swaps onto the Reaper, I think the Reaper might be a good swap here, especially to try to just walk over this Zarya.
From 7, it could be huge. You've seen big ones earlier, but the Koi goes out Sonic Ronic, but 7 is there, gets the blade, gets the slash on the Hefe, the Frog is shut down. Krace has space by himself with that Dragon Blade. 7 just putting the fear of God in the Pet Rocks right now. And it looks like the clock is being struck close to midnight here in the Cinderella story.
And they've finished the ult cycle now, so they're back to the grab and the high noon. I think that's going to be enough to just win this fight right here.
It's going to be Can Thick Boy perhaps eat the grab with the Javelin Spin. I don't trust you. Here comes the Terror Surge in. Slams it down. Boy. And here comes 2 kills early, and it looks like this might be the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters with 2 picks here. Both DPS are down. Hefe falls as well. Thick Boy has to coach out on the Arisa, but 7 is there with a bubble and Poi with a charge. It does not matter what map you take into the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters. Looking dominant as they claim the Crystal Quarry and move their way to the Booney Bowl and fight for the championship.
Kind of a reverse sweep. Not really, but they won 3 in a row. It was a delayed sweep. I'll call it that.
After the worst map one we've ever seen, I'll consider a reverse sweep. That was like 2 map losses by itself.
Yeah.
But I mean, once Poi figured out, hey, I can play something that isn't Hog, they looked a lot better.
Yeah,
Dominant, in fact.
That's gonna be really interesting going into the final map because we're gonna see like whoever they play in the finals is probably gonna expect Poi to be able to swap onto the Zarya, swap onto the Diva. So we'll see if they're able to get to keep that up in the finals. But yeah, the first team in the finals is the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters. Well deserved, in my opinion. They played very well this map, or this entire match.
I agree, well deserved. Of course, we gotta give our send off to the Paris Pet Rocks. Nobody thought they'd get this far into the Musky Bowl. Congratulations on a fantastic season from you guys.
They played
coming
well.
up hard as of late, played very well. But we look forward to seeing you guys next season, especially Coldbeer. I'm looking forward to seeing that guy play a lot more in the future of Aurora. But moving on, we have to give out our player of the match to the Mill City Marshmallow Monsters, the Crystal Quarry MVP Bowl, I guess. I don't know what to call it. I'm leaning honestly. I'll let you go first, but I have someplace I'm leaning right now.
So there, in my opinion, I think there are 2 players. Well, I guess there's 3 players that I would think had really hero moments. Strudel on Havana had a lot of really good plays. But there's I think I might give it to either 7-7 or Poi over Strudel, just because I felt like they had much bigger moments more consistently throughout the match. I think it's hard to not give it to Poi. I think his Zarya pick on King's Row and on his Diva also on Busan, he got a lot of value on that. 7-7, I think, also had a really good game. The Genji was really big. He had a lot of really big plays, and even when he didn't have blades, he was able to go really aggressive, able to get picks out of that, and able to get out without dying. Personally, I think I might give it to Poi, but I think either of those 3 teams, Strudel, Poi, or 7-7, played very well this match.
Yeah, my shot was gonna be Strudel, because again, like you said, the clutch moments, whether it be on Havana, on the Baptiste, just the overall spectacular play of the support line throughout the entire game. But I can be swayed to give it to Poi. I'm a Phil tank guy. I like giving it to a Zarya player. I like shouting my boys out. So we'll go ahead and give it to Poi. Why not?
Yeah.
We'll bring him in here for a quick interview, as per the usual. Once I can actually find the channels to move into.
I need to get some water too. That was basically like a nonstop.
That's correct. But anyway, here we are. Congratulations on the victory, Poi, of course, winning the Crystal Quarry and moving on to the Booney Bowl. What's going through your mind right now? Give it to us straight.
I don't know. I'm still feeling pretty nervous. Like,
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. I was stressed out before this game, and it kind of sat with me the whole time. And like I think the adrenaline's still there, so I'm feeling it a little bit. But
Can you describe to us how you're feeling after the first map on that New Queen Street? How are you guys feeling after that?
I was feeling pretty bad, honestly. I think the nerves weren't helping. Like, I wasn't thinking super well. And I think I kind of tunnel visioned a lot of the map. So afterwards, like, we lost, and I was still kind of tunnel visioned. And so honestly, like, mental wasn't super great, but
so what was going in what no, you're good. So what made you make the decision to swap off of the Hog and just kind of focus on heroes that you're better at? Your Zarya, your Sigma, even on Havana was really good. When did you guys make that swap to just jump off of the Hog?
Well, I knew the Hog wasn't working, so I was down to switch. I honestly wasn't super confident in the Zarya, just because it felt like on map 1, when I would go for stuff on Hog, like first fight, but a lot of the fights, like I would hook Thick Boy at around, like, when he's like very close, like 300 HP, right? Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, but it felt like when I did that, because I'm just a sitting target, I would just get headshot by snipers.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I'm on Zarya, it's probably going to be pretty similar because it just felt like I was taking a lot of poke. But I should have been thinking at the time I should change my playstyle, but I was like nervous and tunnel visioning. So I was basically just yelled at to play Zarya, and I did.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah, your Zarya worked out really good. You got a lot of huge grabs on, especially King's Row. You got like what, 2 like 5 main grabs that just solo won the fight.
Yeah, I mean that happened.
Buddha, you got anything?
Before I ask El Clasico, I just got a comment, of course. I mean, you're obviously nervous because you don't want to be the guy to lose to PJ in the semifinals. You don't want to be that guy going up against the greatest curse in Aurora esports history. So I just want to give you this opportunity before I ask El Clasico to give a shout out to anybody on the Rocks that you want to give a special shout out to after their kind of Cinderella run here at the playoffs. Anybody you're looking forward to watching next season? I'll let you go ahead and give your kudos real quick.
I mean, I don't really know like exactly what happened like in the team. Does that make sense? Like obviously they have some really good players. I mean, it is fortunate for them that it became a hog meta and that's like Thick Boy's thing, right? But I would feel wrong if I shouted out anyone on the team because I feel like what happened was the team has really good players and they always had good players. It's just, you know, at some point after they went over 2 or 3 or something, they just like started gelling. There was some, I don't know, it's probably some like communication thing. Like they figured out what they want to do and they work together and I don't know. Does that make sense? It's like not, oh, this guy popped off. It's they just became a team, right?
I'm going to be honest with you, Poi. I asked that question solely to try to draw out does that make sense? And I was successful in drawing out 2. So I am happy with how that went. Anyway, if it could not be you for MVP here in the Axolot-O's Musky Bowl on your team, who would you pick and why? You were part of this team, so you do know what's going on there, and you can shout out somebody. So go ahead.
I mean, one thing that I'm really appreciative of like my team this season is like I'm a competitive guy. So it feels really nice when like everyone on my team, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of pocket here. I don't know exactly what's going through all my teammates' heads. But we feel like a really competitive, really, I don't know, like we gel really well together. So like Skysir, the whole time we were playing, like we put in Skysir for first map, and afterwards we put in 7 because they're like, we think the Genji is going to work out better versus the double sniper, and he was just a good sport about it the whole time, and I really appreciate that, and I genuinely think that he's playing way better than his SR, right? Like he's a super good player.
Oh yeah.
It's just right now, like normally we play him on like sniper maps for hit scan or like brawl like a Reaper or something, but like playing that into cold beer on mall is so difficult, right? So I don't know, I just appreciate that he's a good teammate like that, and also he's a good player. You'll definitely see him in finals and he's gonna pop off.
I mean, I think what you guys have is the perfect mix of, you know, veteran championship caliber talent with, you know, with Nuttier and Strudel being champions. But you got those hungry ones as well. You got you, who I don't want to point out, but has never won a championship despite your longevity in the league. You got Sonic Ronic, who's been here forever, always a high-end player. And those hungry rookies, man. You got Skysir and 7, like you said. Those two are just a dangerous backline, dangerous DPS duo to deal with, and they will be for a very long time. So, I mean, I agree with you. You can't really shout any about us in particular. Just the entire team's ready. You guys are playing so well. You played the entire season so well as a collective unit, and you guys are playing for the Booney Bowl next week. So, hey,
I got a question for you. Wait,
go ahead.
So you have made the finals.
Yep.
There are 2 teams that you can play: the Crewmates and the Bricks. Who would you rather play in the finals?
I mean, we've just never played the Crewmates, so that'd be fun to see what happens. I've known Connor for a long time.
I think that'd be a fun one to watch too.
Yeah.
Vindy Man against Poi in the tank line. Ooh. That'd be a banger match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But being that as it is, we're gonna go ahead and send you back to your team to, of course, you know, I don't know, theoretically lift the Crystal Core. You guys won the trophy. Congratulations on that. Our first ever bowl champions. the Musky Marshmallow Monster. So well done and congratulations, and we'll see you on Sunday for the Booney Bowl, boy.
All right, see ya.
All right, we'll send him on his way, but you know what? Here we are. Panini, we've got, we said 3-2, didn't quite get it, but we got ourselves a pretty close match regardless. Musky Marshmallow Monsters avoid the number 1 seed curse and advance to the grand final. So any final comments from you before we head off here?
I just think that this has been such a fun playoffs. A lot of upsets, a lot of really banger matches. I'm just really glad this is shaping out to be as fun as it is.
I agree. So with that being said, we'll see all you guys for the Boon ESPN Gollum Bowl here on Friday. Again, produced by RiddleDog, be casted by me and Guku, the veteran presence MVP candidate. Of course, if you haven't already, make sure to vote for MVP, All-Star, Roll Star, do your Twitch Prime sub. Hint, hint, you're going to want to do your Twitch Prime or regular sub because there'll be a drawing for a prize at the grand finals. You're going to want to get that in if you haven't already. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great rest of your evening.